Let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to A&DBBL. It's 7 o'clock. It's the 9th of February, 2026. And yes, this is your latest season 10 Monday night roundup. My name is Scott, not that one. And I'm here tonight to guide you through the latest batch of A&DBBL season 10 games that have taken place in the last week. So as you all assume the position for this week's updates, please welcome. First up, the man whose activities have been linked to uprisings and political turmoil in Zimbabwe and right across Asia and the continent. Lord help you, Stowmarket. It's the master of anarchy himself. It's the coach of the Black Shuck Ballers, Mr. Tom Hobble. Tom, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you? How has your Monday been?
Yeah, it's been a Monday as usual. So looking forward to this evening.
Looking forward to it as well. And we were hoping for your entertainment tonight. We were hoping for the coach with the finest facial hair and the finest facial grooming regime in the league, A&DBBL league commissioner and the SP master collector himself, Mr. Luke Bagger. However, Luke is unable to join us tonight, but he is back. Through nefarious and clandestine means, we have him here tonight. Be upstanding, salute, shout hosanna for the deity incarnate himself, the man who put the bite in bitey ducks. It's Mr. Chris Coe.
I am the Luke that you find in the little middle aisle. So I feel like that's a fitting intro.
Excellent. Welcome back, Chris. Obviously, I know things have been keeping you out of mischief, for the last few weeks. How's your Monday been?
Fine. I've been eating. My wife went on holiday and brought me back some speculoos spread, which is the weirdest thing that I've ever had in my life. It tastes like somebody mixed up peanut butter and like Biscoff spread, and I've just been eating it from the jar.
Living the dream. That's
Absolutely
all we can say, Chris. Living the dream. Okay. We have 12 games to get through tonight, so there's going to be minimal housekeeping and shout outs, but here we go. First of all, Aardvarks and Dragons, go, spend, be happy. This is season 3 next. It is new. There are queries over rule interpretation. Seeking clarification and asking questions is good. Remember, commissioner rulings are final. Whether you agree or not, it is one rule and one interpretation for all 35 coaches. Consistency is good. It's early days of the season. Rules may change in the future. There may be FAQs and erratas. We hope so, but we are only week 2 of 16 weeks in this league. So be patient, be understanding. For charity, just remember, all of those Blood Bowl deaths are already making a difference. Keep going. Remember to make a donation for your bounties. Just ask Chris of the De Trois Lyonnais. Fine looking end zone posted on Discord and Disco as well. Bounties, if you want to place a bounty, speak to James, put it on Discord, let us know who the foreseen victim for the next week is going to be. And if you would like to be like Chris, no one can really be like Chris, but if you would like to be like Chris and join us for our Monday night roundup, let us know. Drop us a note, pop into store, and then you can be desperately in this sort of less than glamorous environment. But hey, this is what it's all about. Quick shout outs. Well done to everybody who went to Nest Point over the weekend. Andy, well, great job as TO on that one. Well done to Joe for taking the title, and especially well done for Mr. John Reeder for 3rd place. Looking all good in the photo, John. Remember, New Dice Please will be up later in the week as well. But without further delay, without further stopping people from enjoying their excitement for all of this week as well, let's get straight in. Let's have a look at the first game that we're going to go to for this week's roundup. We're going to go to the Avengers group. We're going to look at Nurgle versus Vampires. So we've got Nick and the Inglorious Bastards with the mighty coach Acrades himself, Scott, with the Amaranthine Force. I knew I was going to cock that up. Apologies. So Vampires versus Nurgle. Chris, on a paper match exercise, a bit of a close one to call, and this is exactly what the result achieved.
I'm realizing suddenly how different it is when you're not asking the questions and you've got to answer them. Immediately, I'm like, I don't like it. I mean, Scott has picked another new team, and he. I don't know how confident he was going into the season with vampires, but it's a kind of good start. But it looks like Nick's put up a decent fight in this one. To hold Scott for as long as he did. And I think speaking to Scott about this one as well, it sounded like Nick was quite unlucky not to come away with a win here. I think it swung just at the end and was very, very tight. So I think Scott will probably be quite pleased he's got away with this one and taken the 3 points.
Scott was saying that he did roll a ridiculous number of failed bloodlusts as well. And always a risk there, Tom, as you, former vampire coach, will know. And especially now with Hypno Gaze on a 3-up. So is this, look at the SP as well, 10-8, pretty low scoring. So is this just one of those matches that could have gone either way, and ultimately it's the fickle finger of Nuffle that's provided the win here as opposed to anything else?
Yeah, and already Scott's a player down now. And it kind of, it's one of these interesting ones. This Brawling Brutes rule is going to be evident throughout the games you're going to see here, that even though he lost 1-0, he actually got more SPP. So it's incredible how Nurgle are really ramping up in this season. They're definitely a team or a race to be wary of, because obviously he killed a player and then obviously he got a player. And also he got a lot of SPP for causing a lot of casualties. So it's interesting with league play, with the Brawling Brute rule, that you don't need to win games to kind of really ramp up your team to be quite devastating in later matches.
Chris, this was the first game for both coaches within season 3. Do you think both will be happy at this stage with, a few SP in the bank, and obviously for O'Crady, he's got that win, he's got that green W in the box?
I think probably, because I think if you're coming up against Scott, I think on his day you could walk away with just MVP and not a lot else and nothing for it. So the fact Nick's come away with more SPP, I'm sure he'll be really pleased with. And I mean, I think Scott would have probably liked more SPP, but we'll be very grateful for the points early on as well, just kind of getting on the board.
Okay, so a good first season outing for the Vampires, which I know Scott was a bit dubious in terms of how they were really going to perform and how much he was or was not going to enjoy them. So that, and a solid start from Nick in terms of, it's a long season. We talked about it last week. Plenty more games to go, plenty more things to see. Just a quick shout out to everybody in chat there. Good evening, Luke. Good evening, Graham. Good evening, Phil. Just a very quick one to call out what Luke says. Note how everyone has been good with the rules so far. So thank you. So let's move away from the SP collectors then. So we're going to move into Blades group. This is Ben joining us for his first season of Stunties, playing with the gnomes. No more Mr. Nice Guy against Josh Rags. Playing Nurgle as well. Now, sweltering heat did not help. Before I go into talk with Chris and Tom about this match, I just want to shout it as well, because myself and Mark were playing a non-A&DBBL match next to them. And just kudos to both coaches. Both coaches approached the game in a great attitude. It was a really good, enjoyable match. They both had, had some great dice. They both had some really shocking dice. The sweltering heat impacted both of them as well. But Tom, looking at this then, Josh comes out of it on a 2-1 loss, but again, 19 SP. Good start to the season.
Yeah, excellent. And both I'm in this group as well as Chris as well. So I'm sure he's been looking at it eagerly as much as I have. That Nurgle team, just like the previous Nurgle team, is getting very dangerous now. Never played Ben. I've only played against gnomes once, but again, it seems that he's got a good handle on them already, winning 2-1 there with 2 very quick touchdowns, both in turns 5 and turn 8 in the first half, and then kind of just seems to have consolidated quite a bit in the second half here, having a few casualties. Unfortunately, a fox being injured in turn 14 as well. I'm amazed that there weren't actually more injuries, actually, to be honest, considering how brutal those Nurgle were against myself. Yeah, I think the gnomes got away a little bit lightly by the looks of things.
The magic sponge was used. I can confirm that as well. So that did its job to the best of its abilities as well. Chris, you've got to play both coaches. You've got to play both Ben. You've got to play Josh. So two ends of the spectrum, really, in terms of what you can expect. What things are you keeping an eye out for when you look at both of these coaches?
I think the Nurgle team already looks a bit scary. I think the thing I always find with Nurgle is because a lot of the time we see coaches leaning into the mutations in league, and Josh is absolutely doing that. So already he's got a squad of positionals that I look at and I don't know, like they're all a little bit different. So that already immediately makes you have to kind of prepare a bit differently. And again, for him, losing 2-1 but coming away with 19 SPP because of that Brawling Brutes and all those cash is going to be really good for him moving forward in the season. The Gnomes are tricky because on their day they can be so tough to beat, but they can also kind of collapse in on themselves. So I think Ben's done really well to get off the mark here with a win. And Sweltering Heat probably favouring him as far as having extra players than it would have Josh as well. So yeah, I guess the Gnomes I'm probably looking more forward to playing than the Nurgle at this point, because not quite sort of any skills taken on them yet, so a little bit less daunting to look at.
Indeed. The one thing, if we look at the Nurgle team there, not only are they, when you get the random mutations on Nurgle, everyone seems to be good for Nurgle. It's one of those teams where random is the best opportunity, the best journey really for upskilling your team. I have to call out as well, Josh has done a lovely conversion with the Pestigore, and if you remember, Tom, he actually did kill one of your werewolves in the previous match, and he has now sculpted a werewolf head, being magnificently carried by the Pestigore. So something for you to maybe lose another werewolf and he can have a match in pair for your rematch.
Exactly.
Vengeance, Tom. Go for vengeance.
Yeah, exactly. I'm particularly worried about that bloater with claws and extra arms. So that's he's got some nice combinations there already.
Definitely. So good start to the season for Ben, first time, and he really enjoyed playing Gnomes, he was saying. So good to see. And it was nice to see Josh there as well, getting back into the insanity that is Blood Bowl and really making a difference. And again, big contributor to all of the chat and all of the comments on Discord. So thank you very much for that contribution. The Honeyman is in chat. Good evening, Carl. Hope you were doing. Is sweltering heat the worst weather? Well, depends if you're in the middle of the Sahara or you're in the Antarctic, really, doesn't it? But that's a conversation for another day. We're going to move on then to our third match of the evening. We're going to go from the Blades group. I can just find this for everybody as well. And we're going to go into the Destroyers. So this is the inaugural match for the Scott Norman Goblins this year, the Drumsticks, versus the Tomb Kings, Doobses, the Flamingo Pharaohs. Now, just to raise a bit of money, as Scott is generously donating for charity, Mr. Chris Coe, would you like to confirm what is the name of the Drumsticks team in full?
Yes, dirty, rotten, uncultured menaces, specifically trying increasingly convoluted kinetic schemes.
The things we do for £1 on the Monday Night Roundup, and actually the things we do for £2, but that's for the OnlyFans channel. Anyway, so the edge, the insanity, the eccentricity of Mr. Norman and his goblins, taking a nice heady bundle, as we can see. So he's got the temp agency, he's got the mascot, he's got the keg, he's got the bribe, as he always does, and he's taken Fungus. Didn't quite work out to plan, though, Tom, versus the solidity and the bashiness of the Tomb Kings.
No, and equally, it's exactly what I like to see, those timelines in tour play. Complete madness, not even looking down the list of what actually happened, just seeing all those little icons along the top there is pure joy. And I believe this is the first Tomb King win. So this is the first win. We've already had 2 other Tomb Kings play, and both have unfortunately lost. So it's interesting to see, especially they've won 3-0 as well. So clearly those Tomb Kings aren't as slow as we think they are.
And Chris, it started and kept being a challenging evening by the look of it for the Goblins. -1 ST on turn 3, plus then your main threat, your Doom Diver, who we know has had some nerfs, hopefully bringing him a bit more into a bit more of a meta and competitive level this season. Badly hurt after turn 5. After that, was it just a mountain too far for the Goblins to climb?
I see. I mean, I don't think I would ever write Scott off, and I think it's probably the thing with Goblins that we know is that if you can kind of grind them down and you can remove them, and especially up against a lot of strength 5s, that's going to be, you know, that's going to be very possible. As soon as you can start to wear down the bribes and start to get some of those weapons off, they become a very different team. I think Doobs has done incredibly well in this one to kind of do what is the best way to combat Goblins, and that's, you know, cause as many new drives as possible to get rid of as many weapons and bribes and stuff as possible. And he's done it with a team that is pretty slow and got Edge 4 everywhere. So you know, absolute credit to him. But yeah, honestly, knowing Scott, I think he would have had the Doom Diver injured. He would have lost a Goblin, and he would have still looked at what opportunities for chaos there were. And I don't think it would have slowed him down.
Tom, before we move on, then just looking at the great start, that 3-0 win for the season against that very uncertain, insanity and wonderful eccentricity, as we said, of the Goblins as well. He decided not to take the upgrade on the Tomb Guardian yet, or maybe he's waiting and seeing, but he's in one of those interesting positions as a coach where you've got several pieces of SP, and much to myself and Chris's previous downfall, he's resisting pressing the Roundup button.
Yeah, there's a few more people also doing the same thing, I noticed, as we'll come along a little bit later. There's definitely the people who like to either randomize or go straight for the SP as soon as they get it and put it straight on, or play the waiting game. And this is one of those ones where they're playing the waiting game. They're clearly in a good position, being at the top of their division. But they've also got quite a lot of bashy teams there. So they've obviously got Black Orcs, Old World Alliance, and Nurgle to compete against as well. So I suppose waiting and seeing who they're going to play next definitely has its advantages.
Indeed, and 21 SP, great start to the season, as we said, the 3-0 win as well. I'm sure this is a great start for Doobs, but I'm sure that Mr. Scott Norman and the Drumsticks will have plenty to say about how this league takes shape over the course of the next few months as well. So moving away from Edge versus Bash, back again to Bash versus Bash. This time we have Mr. Mark Humphrey making his debut in season 10. Mark moving really from one end of the spectrum to the other, going from the Wood Elves last year and all the fun he had with those, right through to Nurgle, facing off with the returning Mr. Sam Smith and his Black Orcs. We know Sam favoured the Black Orcs as well. Very sunny, very equal on the SP, but a 2-0 win for the Nurgle guys as well. Chris, when you look at this, was this the sort of level you'd expect? Did you expect it to be a 2-0, or does that seem to flatten Nurgle versus the Orcs as well?
I don't know, really. I think this was probably quite a tough one to call. Mark has probably got a bit more sort of recent practice under his belt, so you probably would have given him the edge. I think team-wise, you know, those Black Orcs have got a nice big wall of of orc flesh to try and break down. They've got options with the goblins to stunty dodge around. So I think they've got enough to meet the Nurgle side strength for strength. But Mark has been playing this Nurgle, I think, a little bit. It's a big change from the Wood Elves in how he's got to play them. But he's done well. He's done what he needed to. He's got, he's battled through a change in weather and got the result.
He's looking good. As you see, Mark, standard weather tonight, gets the touchdown on turn 8. I'd like to think as well that the injury and now the hatred for Beastmen was out of a failed dodge for the Goblin Bruiser. I'd love to think so. Who knows? But yeah, a 1-0 win, and then it turned very sunny, which obviously the Orcs aren't going to be much of a passing game. So again, a very good win and a start to the season for Mark. But again, long way to go, Tom. For both coaches, where would you go in terms of next steps for these two?
Can you still hear Scott?
I can still hear Scott. Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear. I can't hear you, Scott. I'm afraid.
We can hear you, Tom, but that's fine. But thank you anyway. Chris, you can still hear me, okay?
I can still hear you fine. Yeah.
I can still hear you. Great. Can you hear me now, Tom? The technical gremlins are back in. Scott Norman probably sent them in after what we talked about the drumsticks. No.
Should I jump off and back on again?
Yeah. If you want to, that'd be great. Yeah. So whilst we just look at that, Chris, the question that I asked to Tom, where would you, if you were either the Nurgle coach or the Sam coach for this Sam coach, that's very indicative. If you were the coach, Sam Smith of Da Brewsbury's, what would be your next steps in terms of team development, or what would you be looking for?
I mean, he's gone for Mighty Blow on the on one of his Black Orcs already. They've all got Brawler, so on the offensive they're a bit protected against block anyway. So I think he's probably ticking along nicely. He's already got the Troll in there. He's already got 2 re-rolls. I think it's probably a bit early to pick a particular way to go. I don't know whether he did any throw teammate attempts or anything. Obviously, there's new ways to gather SPP through that. So, going for Mighty Blow, he's clearly out for blood, which I think is great. So, I think it's going to take a couple of games to kind of see which way is best to lean.
Well, good luck to Sam in your next match. Good luck to Mark in your next match for Nurgle and for the Black Orcs, respectively. Over to the counts. I do have to take a moment when I do say that naming convention, so thank you for naming the group as it is. We've got Joe. I believe this is Joe's first competitive match. Chris, you'll be able to confirm of Blood Bowl.
No, he's later on. This is Jack and Chris.
Sorry, it's Jack. Sorry, I'm getting Jack confused with Joe. Too many J's, and as we all say, it's been a Monday. So we've got the Scarbucks Bad Beans against Etoile Lyonnais. 3-0 win for Bretonian against the Chaos Renegades in very difficult blizzard conditions as well. Part-time assistant coach, team mascot, and the extra reroll for the Renegade, which is always useful. But Chris, a great comeback here from Chris after 2 very tough matches to start the season.
Yeah, and this is a tough first game for Jack as well, because you look at the SPP he already had and you look at the team he's got now. Chris's Bretonian team are just looking absolutely terrifying. He's not taking any fear away with the elite skill tax. He's going for the elite skills, and now his knights just look very scary. So I think in both his first 2 games, while he didn't come away with any points, he's got a 4-3 loss against an experienced coach with a team that he's played a lot. He's got a 2-1 loss against Luke, again, a coach with sort of possibly more recent experience and a very good coach. So he's had some really tough opening games, but he hasn't played badly at all. He's played really well, and he's got lots of SPP. And now I think those reverse fixtures with Luke and with Simon, I think they're going to be very different. So yeah, it's a great start.
Tom, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful.
yeah. Just to add to that, he gained 28 SPP before this game. So just even though he lost both those games, he still gained himself 28 points. So that's a real impressive kind of way of gaining this. And I don't know about you, but it just seems that this new rule set, a new season, and new players, SPP seems to be a lot easier to gain and get on. And then after that, playing as he has in this game in a blizzard and scoring 3 touchdowns, and by the looks of things, multiple casualties, he's come away with 19 SPP. So it's a very interesting game.
It looks as if Chris isn't really worrying too much, therefore, about the elite tax, already at a team value of 1.2 million. But Tom, when you're at 1.2 million, 3 re-rolls, all of that block, have you really got much to be worried about, or is it up for the other coaches to start chasing you in terms of your skill tree?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's going to be a chase to the top on that one, especially, yeah. I'm just trying to double check and see where he is in his group at the moment. But yeah, it's a very impressive team already.
I think he's done his group a favour, because anyone in that group now looking to skill up, knowing they've got to play him again, aren't going to be worried about giving away inducements, aren't going to be worried themselves about taking elite skills. It's now just an elite skill arm race that we're all involved in. But that means, I think that's good, because that means we can build the teams we want without that fear. So yeah, I love it.
And as you said, Chris, it's going to give Jack and the other coaches here the opportunity to really dip into that inducement pool, star players, everything else that they want to when they get the opportunity.
Yeah, equally looking at his at the others in that group, I think he needs all the skills he can get, especially there are some very experienced players in that group.
Yeah, but we all know on their day when the Rogue, the Minotaur, and the Ogre, which is the selection that Jack's gone to as well, when they do work and when they behave, they can absolutely take another team to town. So, Jack, first game in, there's a long season to go. You have plenty more Blood Bowl left. This, as Chris himself has proved, after the first 2 defeats, things can change and change very, very quickly in Blood Bowl. So great match. Well done to both coaches. We're moving on then from Counts and the Beans and the Lions. And we're going to go back to the Avengers group.
Assemble.
Beautiful. It's as if we thought about that before we started. We're going to go on to last season's runner-up, Andy himself, Loserville here, and the Kesgrave Cutters. Andy moving from Snotlings last year through to the positively, well, compared to Snotlings, positively bash team of Goblins, really, and all the fun that we know Scott Norman and others bring to the table with them as well. Up against Will and the Rude Boys and Crumpers. This did take a little bit of a while, so I think this was just finishing the match off as well. A 2-1 win to the Orcs. Chris, you can't ask better than that against last year's runner-up, really, and 20 SP to start your campaign.
Yeah, it's a good result against a very good coach, and after quite a tough first game against Rats as well. This would have felt like a very different game for Will. And yeah, it was difficult to tell. I know that they ran out of time and kind of had to start again. And at that point, it was 1-1. So it was not overly clear kind of which way the game was going to go. Andy, both coaches actually have a throw teammate threat if they want to use it. So they both have a 1-turner in them. So yeah, it's a really good result for Will, because Andy's gone from strength to strength over his previous seasons, every season finishing better up to last season, getting to the final and only losing on a roll off. So yeah, this is a great kind of bounce back for Will.
2 players sent off on turn 8 at the end of the turn. Andy took 1 bribe, and we know, irrespective of whether or not the player has been in a drive, secret weapons can get sent off. Was it a case of just too many sending offs and that attrition just caught up with him? Because obviously there's several badly hurt linemen then, but really losing as well the Doom Diver to an injury, and unfortunately it's the best injury. It's a dead injury. So Andy really losing at that point. Then it was one really Will took most advantage of that, and all of a sudden we've got a 2-1 win. So if we look at Will's team very quickly, two mighty blow block, strip ball as well on the blitzer. That's quite a nice setup to have for Orcs, Tom.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Orcs have definitely had a complete refresh, so to speak, making them a little bit more agile with that break tackle on the blitzers, which is clearly showing being able to get that SPP on those that already have mighty blow and a strip ball blitzer. Playing it very tactically, putting block on a big one, which is always good to have. And also, I just noticed he's got that big one is the team captain as well. So that's quite nice. Guard on a lineman. This is a solid play here. It really does look like a kind of dangerous, very tactical team. Like you say, it's a solid wall of greenskins there.
And Chris, as we said, if we look at the team value here for Will now, he's at just under 1.2 million. He's going to be giving away inducements to some of the teams like Andy, who we know will take advantage of as many inducements as we can get, and they may play things a bit different. So early days in this league, a lot to play for, and I think there's going to be a lot of perambulations.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried if I was him about kind of any team value blow. You know, the Skaven side up to 1120 at the top of the table. Vampires, I think if Scott's going to put the skills on them that he will want to kind of make them really competitive, I think he's going to have to go for some elite skills there. So yeah, again, because everyone's going to do it, I don't think he needs to worry. And the base skills that Orcs come with are so strong that he's starting from such a good kind of base level. So yeah, I mean, he should just go for it. Absolutely go for it and see where it gets him.
Cool. 2 points out there. First of all, just to reassure any coaches online or watching this as well, that no coach was injured in the making of Andy's team icon there, his graphics. Chris, looking at this, another team with a high level of SP. Is this something that the commissioner is going to start to look at when we think about maybe season 11 and beyond?
What, reducing the amount of SPP you can get?
Possibly.
Absolutely not. Okay. Let's have more of it.
So are we suggesting
let's give lizards brawling brutes? I think that's the biggest flaw in the game at the minute. So we'll look at that one.
I personally think bodies should be
looking at the Orcs overall across the board. There's only one game where they scored less than 19 SPP out everyone. That's insane.
Well, I think we know what a lot of coaches will be taking in season 11 then. Good luck, everybody. That's the end of Edge as we know it. Going then to groups. So the Stars group for this evening. Phil, last year's runner-up in the conference. Evening, Phil in chat, and the nitro-fueled Wampa Fruit. Anyone got any understanding about the naming convention of the team? Great name.
Which one? The nitro-fueled Wampa Fruit?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a Crash Bandicoot reference. The Wampa fruit being the fruit there, and yeah, it's. I think he's posted a blurb somewhere in the Discord about how the team came to be. So yeah, it's Crash Bandicoot reference.
Very good. As a non-Crash Bandicoot player, then that totally went above me. But thank you, Chris, for being down with the kids. Simon then making a comeback after his first day opening match against John Reeder and a 2-1 loss, then now turns it round to a 2-1 win as well. I just want to call out Phil on this one, say a big thank you. Simon called him out for being very, very sportsmanlike in this match as well. That did help Simon on his path to a 2-1 win. Another Hawk team with another 20 SP as well. So a good recovery, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks vicious from the outset, fouling galore, which is very unusual for an Orc team. But like we say, this team's now got a lot more goblins in it and a troll, whereas previously in previous seasons it's all been Orcs all the time. So Yeah, really interesting looking game here. And unfortunately, by the looks of things, the humans got a bit of a pounding here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 injuries that they've sustained on there. I don't know whether the magic sponge was used on any of them. There's a thrower, a catcher, and 2 linemen out. So, yeah, looks a bit. It's one of those ones where it's the first game that of the team being played as humans, which was destined to potentially do great things. Unfortunately, it's not off to the greatest of starts.
Phil, he's got a few casualties, as you rightly say, if we take a look at the team. However, Chris, quite a nice couple of skills that he's managed to put on the team. Guard on the blitzer, sidestep as well on the human catcher with a movement 8. That's a lovely one-turn piece to have, as well as potentially, I don't know if he has, just check that. Has he got halfling? No, he hasn't. So again, if he just gets the halfling, and then he's got 2 one-turn touchdown options as well. So long way to go for Phil with this team development.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to have the thrower out, but sidestep as a random on the catcher is going to be great because you can kind of safely side cage up. Guard on that blitzer again as a random, to get guard as a random on a blitzer that's already got block tackle. I mean, if I were Phil and I was superstitious, I wouldn't be doing many more randoms because I think he's lucked out on two on the 2 to start with, to be honest. So yeah, and yeah, I think the biggest hurt here is, you've got 8 games to play in the group. Losing the first one's not a big deal. There's plenty of time to recover. Losing the thrower in the human team, the thrower is not as good as it used to be, but it is a sure hands piece. It does help you move that ball around a bit more. So maybe that will hurt a bit depending on how he wants to play. But, a long way to go.
It is indeed. Mr. Scott Norman joins us. Good evening, Scott. Did you miss your game? You did, unfortunately. We were waxing lyrical. Mr. Crisco, if you did want to listen to it back, has called out the dirty, rotten, uncultured menaces, specifically trying increasingly convoluted kinetic schemes. So that's £2 for the kitty, please, sir. Tom, do you want to go for it and make it £3? Make it a hat trick?
Oh, it's just gone in and out of my ears straight away. I should really
Tom's had a
write
long
this
Monday.
down.
Don't put him on the spot like that.
I need to start writing this down somewhere. Where's a pen when you need one? Maybe something.
If anybody is out there, Blood Bowl coaches, if you see Tom Hovell within the next week or so and he's in A&D or just wandering aimlessly around some part of Suffolk, please wander over, please pick him up, give him a hug, put him back down gently. I think he needs it after today. Let's go on then to what was one of our featured matches on this weekend. So again, you can go back, watch this on the YouTube. This was Mitch starting off his season with the Waldenhof Blood Knights, the good old vampires, against the man himself, everybody's favorite, basically the Noblar Blackwall team of the year. It's the Honeyman, it's Carr, and the Warpstone Crux Underworld Denizens as well. This is the 3rd match already for the Denizens. They came off an absolute kick into the Woodies. Then they came off a bit of a repeat lesson with the Bretonians as well. A 1-1 draw. It could have gone either way. Mitch was really playing some good Blood Bowl in terms of using this, and especially with no skills up already. Tom as well, Vampires versus Underworld, 2 very different teams in terms of play style. So again, really a very close match. Could have gone either way, and I think it'd be a good result for both coaches.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's lots on both sides by the looks of things. Nice weather, which is always good. Nobler was on the pitch and causing mayhem straight out of the bat by the looks of things. In fact, even before the first kickoff, by the looks of things, that they clearly got either a blitz or something on the kickoff, causing a badly hurt on a thrall lineman, and then again on a vampire runner in turn 2. And then again, turn 2 got a foul and took out another thrall lineman. So looking at that from that perspective, Mitch did very well to hold on, losing 3 players very early on. It died down a little bit later. Nobler injuring himself on turn 3, so maybe that was a little bit of relief on that side of things. And then it was interesting that clearly the vampires then either turned it over or got it back. So 1-1 is a very good result for both teams by the looks of things.
Nobler making quite a number of appearances this year, Chris. Dodge, block, stunty, edge 3, strength 2, but with that bloody chainsaw. Do you think he's going to be the star of the year?
I think for this Underworld team, yeah, I think he can. It just gives him something else, you know, and he's put it to good use in 2 games now. So yeah, I think it clearly really suits the way that Carl wants to play this Underworld team. And he's clearly able to keep the team value at a level where he can take it. So I doubt it will be the last time that we see it. I guess as the team kind of grows and as the teams around him grow as well, particularly if these vampires or some of the other teams in the group get some elite skills on, will he start to look at some of the other ones and see what else fits?
And just a quick questions, you both gentlemen. Chris, I'll start with you. If we look at the Nancy this game Blitzer, 11 SP, is Carl risking the wrath of Nuffle by looking at possibly going for that stat increase?
I think block movement 8, armor 9 with block. I don't want to jinx that positional, but I think you can keep it pretty safe within the team pretty well. And this is just proof that the argument that Skaven was somehow worse losing 2 gutter runners, how quickly you can get a skill up and having a movement 8 block strip ball piece that you can just wait until you make it edge 2 and turn it into a 1 movement less gutter runner with all the skills already. I mean, yeah, it's disgusting and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, only 3 more points, just 3 more points.
The only thing I will keep my fingers crossed, Carl, if you save up that much SP, don't get a passing increase, because that would be if you randomize a passing increase, you might want to weep. But hey, welcome to Blood Bowl. 1-1, a solid start for the Vampires, gents. Again, accurate on the Vampire throw. I saw Mitch randomize that earlier. I believe he got 2 accurates on the random generator, and sprint on the Vampire runner. So suddenly you do have a bit of an easier life. Well, the opportunity for a bit of an easier 1-turn score as well.
I feel like both coaches needed this result because Mitch last season started really badly, had a really good recovery, but it was just a little bit too late to get out of the group. And Carl started very high, then had a game where it was very low. I feel like maybe they both needed this kind of measured game to just settle things down and build from. So yeah, I'm pleased to see sort of Mitch having a better start than last season. And yeah, I wonder whether Carl is quite happy to just have a bit of a leveler.
I think he is as well. Carl does ask the question in chat: if you random stat you don't like, you can get a secondary right. Yes, unfortunately you can, although passing increase would be just more funny. Even though you've only 3, but not I'm a bitter coach still in this group. Nothing on that indeed. Okay, moving on then from the Assassins group over to, again, the Counts. I said Counts. Going back to Simon and the Weird Hollow Wanderer, sticking with the Underworld Denizens theme. Simon's second outing after an impressive 4-3 win against Chris in his opening match. He's playing everyone's tier 1 coward, the man of the moment, Mr. Luke Baggett and the Butchers. A 2-2 draw could have gone either way. The Roger had a double skulls on more than one occasion as well. Luke inflicting an incredible amount of brutality on the Underworld, Chris, but the Underworld, just sometimes when you can't kill that gutter, they're always a threat. And despite the 29 SP, as if that's not enough, Luke couldn't quite get that win.
I think this is the kind of games that I want to see from third edition, from the changes they've made. The fact that you've got the sheer number of casualties that just kept coming on the orc side was still not enough for Simon not to be in this game and be able to get a point out of it and to get some some all right SPP himself. So I think this is what, when we saw the rules of third edition, this is what I wanted to see. Games where you can have that destruction, you can still be in the game, no one's stalling, all of this stuff. Like, yeah, it's great, and I think. Yeah, I think both coaches probably happy with what they're getting out of this one. Probably both thought, would have liked 3 points, but actually, I'd trade 3 points for 29 SPP any day at this stage.
Indeed. If you have a quick look at the Underworld Denizens, healthy 1 million, sidestep on the gutter, extra arms for the additional pickup on the passing on the Skaven thrower as well. And strip ball, another strip ball piece, which is never a bad thing as well. And Simon's got some nice healthy levels of SP Tom ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I do think he needs to put a phone call into the Royal Society for the Protection of Snotlings in this game, because they were absolutely massacred. Like, there's literally just strewn Snotlings across the pitch. And that's clearly where Luke has made a lot of those points, just focusing on the poor little lads there. But both teams now are just rich in points and just holding off on a few things. You've got sidestep on a gutter runner, extra arms on that thrower, and even randomized strip ball as well, which is quite a nice one. Plus, they've got lots of SPP coming up through the ranks as well, especially on the likes of that Blitzer and the Rat Ogre as well. So there's quite a few things to look out for on both of these teams. And Luke's orcs just look ridiculous. There's, we've got a Bigham, which has got both block and guard, and a lineman with Mighty Blow, which was randomized. And that Orc Blitzer, again, just like the other ones, only 3 points away for a skill update. What do you think he's going for?
Yeah, he's got the 3 re-rolls as well, plus that team captain inbuilt skill as well. Chris, he's at 1.2 million. Simon, Simon is for his rematch and some of the other teams as well. Going to be looking at this as well. And if they're not skilled up, like we saw with Chris in this group previously, there's going to be a lot of fun with incentives.
Yeah. I weirdly, I think that I think we're seeing some really heavily skilled teams, and we're still not going to see inducements, because I think Luke is going to very quickly get up to the level that Chris is at. There's not going to be a lot in it, but you're going to see we're just going to see games full of incredibly skilled up teams bashing it out for 16 turns. So I think the return fixtures this season are going to be absolutely wild.
Looking forward to it. Let's move on then to the Stars group as well. This is the Bow, the first game of the season for Jane. First season with Skaven as well. So the freebooting Firkins against Surprise Sausage and the Bretonians. Wow. So 18 SP, got a number of casualties splattered throughout there as well. Couple of agency cheerleaders, nothing much in terms of inducements, but a 3-0 win. 3-0 win, a great start for the Rats. Chris, as a fellow Skaven coach as well, exactly what the team doctor would have ordered.
Yeah, James played it really well. Joe's had it's a tough first intro to the league for Joe, first competitive game for him. And Jane just stopped him being able to do a huge amount. But to be fair to Joe, I think there were lots of things in the game that he was slowly building on and kind of doing things a bit better towards the end. So he'll have learned a lot from this one, and Jane will be thrilled with 18 SPP and a 3-0.
It's one of those matches, Tom, as you know, as someone who has played Skaven in their time, has got a win under their belt as well, and has always declared that anyone can win 4-0 with Skaven as well. Early days in a league, if you are, if the dice don't go your way, or if you give them an opening, the Skaven can really exploit it to get a win like this.
Yeah, I was about to say, hats off to Jane for her sportsmanship on the fact that she was being very kind to Joe and just leaving it at 3-0. Yeah, as I say, with Skaven, you can just walk it in every time. 4-0 is usually average.
Well, Joe, well done on the first game. There is a long way to go, and I'm sure you will have a great time, and there's plenty of learnings as well. Jane, first Skaven match, 3-0. Well done. Congratulations. Look forward to see how you develop that team of filthy, wonderful rats going forward. Okay, penultimate match of the evening. Graham, good evening, Graham in chat, and the LEFSF, the Elven Union, against, well, guess what? And surprise, another Tomb King team as well. The Hamanaptra Hammers this time. Second match, second Tomb King, and second win, Chris, for the Elven Union.
Yeah, we seem to just be seeing a different Graham, and I don't know whether it's he's burnt all his bad luck in previous seasons. I don't know whether it's sort of coming up against Tomb Kings. The elves are considerably more agile and quicker. Whether it is just kind of the perfect team to come up against them, but 2 wins from 2 in a group that could have easily been seen that Graham was just going to get absolutely battered into the face of the earth and have no players left. And he's got 6 points from his first 2 games, and is starting to get some good skills again, some good elite skills on some players. So yeah, I love to see it. I really want to see Graham kind of storm this group.
I think Graham could be a good shout at the moment. He's looking good. He's got that blodge sidestepper blitzer, which is just filthy, wonderfully filthy. He's got a blodge catch playing Nerves of Steel for the catcher. So unless you put him down, that catcher is going to be starting to pass the ball as well. And a random catch with Fumble Rooski, which isn't too bad. So you can go, catch, walk off, drop the ball, and carry on regardless as well. So yeah, early days, but looking very good for Graham. If we move on to the Hamanaptra Hammers, one Tomb King's thrower down as well, with a death there as well. Hatred of Elf. Who doesn't hate a good elf anyway? Again, early days for the Tomb Kings as well. So long way to go in this one, gents. Any recommendations? What would you do with your Tomb Kings if you're Tomb Kings coaches, or is that just a stupid question for you guys?
I'm not really sure, because there's definitely varying kind of tactics with them by the looks of things. Some people are doing really well with them. Others are, unfortunately, maybe the dice are going against them, or just the fact that they're playing against an opponent where their dice have been fantastic. It's a difficult one to kind of think about on what would you skill them up on. They're clearly a tough team. Lots of strength with your Tomb Guardians there. Do you go down that route of focusing on a number of key players, skilling them up and leaving the others just to be fodder, or do you do a spread across the whole team?
I think Leanne will kind of grow with this team. I can't imagine she will be fouling with Tomb Guardians again in future games. But that's such a Leanne thing to do, and you love to see it. So yeah, I think she'll development wise, I think we'll just see lots of things that help you, beat a player into submission.
I'd be interested very quickly to see, has the Fumble Rooski on the Elven Union been used to good effect, or has that been as something that's got him out of a lot of trouble, got Graham out of a lot of trouble, and moved the ball around a lot quicker?
Graham's in chat. He says, definitely getting better luck with my armor not being broken. All I would say, Graham, as you only know too well from being a former Amazon coach as well, and as Tom Huns, the reigning champion, will say, armor 8 is the best armor in the game anyway. But yeah, if you want to let us know how you're getting on with Fumble Rooski, is it something which appears every turn, or is it just a nice to have when you want to go for those stretch kings as well? And yeah, I'm sure Leanne will be starting to throw Tomb Kings around the pitch if she can get away with it as well. So long way to go. Congratulations, Graham, on 2 wins out of 2. Leanne, hope you're enjoying the Tomb Kings as much as you were enjoying the Goblins last year. Final match of the Monday night roundup, sticking with Filthy Edge, Wonderful Things, Rats. This is JD and the Dreadwake Executioners up against Nick as well and his Inglorious Pustards. So JD coming off the back of his big win to start the season with as well. Nick coming off the back of a 1-0 narrow defeat to Acrades and his Vampires as well. Close on paper, Bomber Dribbles not being taken by the Rats for a wonderful bonus of just 80k. Equal on star player points, but Chris, the Rats just nicking it. And if we look at it as well, scored on turn 8, held on to that for the rest of the match as well. So again, an unlucky game for Nick.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it was not logged sort of Bomber getting sent off at all. I can't see when he
Well,
was
got
on the...
-1.
Oh, he got -1 strength. There was very early on. Yeah, I mean, JD and Nick being in the same group. I was in the same group as the pair of them in season 4, and they're as fun to watch the two of them playing against each other as they are to play, because I mean, we can't, you normally can't broadcast the conversation that's going on, but it's very entertaining. But yes, I think JD's done well here to kind of avoid a bit of a beating, because those Nurgle are punchy. They've got the brawling brutes. They've got the ability to really punish you, and JD's done quite well to kind of come away with this with the win, but also a team intact.
Looking at JD's team then, called this out last week. He's building some good skills. Wrestling sidestep on a gutter runner, and a nice little cheeky completion there on a gutter runner, which isn't something you see very often. Together with now Cannoneer, the Skaven thrower. So JD is going long. He's going deep, to use the phrase of the American sports pundits as well. And having hatred on an orc, having orc hatred on a blitzer, not a bad thing, Chris. You can always re-roll a skull for your next match.
Yeah, and I guess looking at the group, depending on which group you're in, I guess it's sort of those extra, those hatreds. Sort of how key are they? And he's got another game against orcs to happen. They've got lots of variety in their group as far as kind of team races go. So that's a hatred that is maybe going to be less useful than others could have been. But yeah, I guess we're going to kind of have to see in the second half of the group stage how important hatred kind of becomes. Like Tom, I'm looking in our group and I'm kind of like not sure. There's not really much. Maybe humans, if you got hatred against a human, that might help. Yeah. But otherwise, it's not. Yeah, not too sure which one would be best, really.
No, you're hoping that maybe like Graham with his Elven Union might get hatred against the skeletons. Maybe
he'd have loved hatred against undead, wouldn't he? That would have been great.
Fantastic, yeah.
And again, it will encourage several 2 dice up hills if you've got hatred.
Exactly, and it's interesting because he's also got hatred on a clan rat, but he's also got a stat bus on the armor. With 90k in the bank, would you get rid of it and buy a new Skaven and just keep it at 12?
Just buy another Skaven and keep that for spare for cannon fodder.
Yeah, I think like you want disposable clan rat linemen, so I wouldn't be too fussed. Particularly, I would probably keep him at least until that game against the orcs again, so you can stick him on the front line and, like Scott said, do a couple of 2 dice up hills and re-roll the skull and see what you get, see if he does the job, and if he dies, they're so cheap. They're cheap to replace, and you've got to do it. So
the way you've got to look at it, Tom, is if you're a Skaven coach, except it's roughly 1 dead lineman for every touchdown, you'll take that.
Cool.
That's your tax. Let's have a quick look at not the fixtures. Let's have a quick look at the standings. If we start in the Horde group, Graham, top of the division there. 2 wins out of 2 versus all of the other bash as well. He's still got Andy to play in terms of the dwarf, so that's going to be a really, really interesting double header, because you still got those to play. Early days as well for everybody else. James yet to kick it off as well for his Tomb Kings as well. So well done, Graham, but a long, long way to go. And apologies if we sound like a bit of a cliche than that. Ben in the Blades group joining Justin at the top with 1 win apiece. Nurgle with Josh there just above Mr. Hobble and of course Mr. Co. But gentlemen, a long, long way to go in your group as well. And Chris, we all know you love a narrative in terms of the underdogs. That's how the ducks fly.
Comeback begins now, yeah.
Looking forward to it as well. We've got that group there, the Avengers, Tom.
Assemble. You told me to say it.
Once, but hey, why? If you can't rip off the MCU, then before their lawyers get to you, when can you? Looking at the Avengers, JD and the Rats looking good there. 2 from 2, as we just discussed. Head of Will and Acrades both sitting on 1 win each. Nick and Andy, a long, long way to go. Just bringing up the rear there in terms of that group. Moving on to Stars, Mr. Reader, 3rd place in Nest Point that we talked about, and joining him with Jane now at the top, 1 win each, setting the early pace. And if we quickly move down to Destroyers, the Tomb Kings and Nurgles in the very bash, well, apart from Goblin, the very bash orientated division there as well. So Doobs and Mark looking very good early days, those 3 points in the bag. Mr. Baggett and Simon at the top of the Counts division. But again, as we can see, it just takes 1 win as Chris gets that in the bag as well. Everybody almost level pegging. So it really is going to have an impact in terms of how their second head-to-heads come about as well. And obviously, Mr. David Rue, the Prince of Ipswich, still yet to get his first game in the bank as well. I will ask him about that tomorrow. We move down then into the Assassins. Carl, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, pushes him to the top on 4 points, just above the current champ, Mr. Huns, and Mitch there getting his first point with the Vampires as well. Throg yet to come along to the party with Bretonians, and obviously lots of opportunity for the Elves to bounce back if we can get any players. That brings us on then to the end of A&DBBL Season 10 Roundup for this week. 12 matches done, lots more to go over the course of the next few months. Chris, any final things you want to call out in your role as Blood Bowl Coach Extraordinaire and A&DBBL Commissioner?
Everyone have fun.
You should first get that on a t-shirt before you can. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Chris Cole. Look forward to seeing you again in the future episodes as well. Mr. Tom Hobble, anything to share with the audience before we finish?
No, just enjoy your games, get them in. Obviously, you know how to book them. If you can't make a game, please let Scott in the shop know as soon as possible to allow others to use the pictures. And yeah, happy bashing.
Indeed. Well, on those wise words, thank you, everybody. This has been the A&DBBL Monday night. I've been Scott, not that one. Happy Blood Bowl.